its doors in 2006, Australian Outback Spectacular has entertained over 1 million people from around the world. From the celebration of the Outback spirit as stock men and women work and play, to the stirring and remarkable true stories of the legendary Australian light horse. Australian Outback Spectacular is the first show of its kind in this country, a unique and exciting evening dinner show filled with Outback music, drama and action, a night you will never forget. And now an exciting new chapter begins. The spirit of the horse with a tribute to Phar Lap, hero to a nation. This is your exclusive behind-the-scenes look at Australian Outback Spectacular's newest must-see live event. Show secrets will be revealed. You'll meet amazing larger-than-life characters, incredible animal performers, and you'll discover the spirit of the horse. Everyone set? Was really to bring the spirit of the Outback into an arena on the Gold Coast so that all of Australia and our international visitors could really enjoy the wonderful spirit that's out there. The Spirit of the Horse was another show that we thought we may be able to do with Simon Windsor, our director.
Well, I did the last show, and I guess that was fairly successful, so they asked me to come back again. The last show had a centrepiece revolving around the tribute to the Australian Light Horse, so it's called Heroes of the Light Horse, and so we used sequences of my film from that.
So we thought the natural extension there was to do something else that was very Australian, use an Australian icon, and also be able to use Simon's film, Phar Lap.
Basically, the story of Phar Lap was this very undernourished horse bought sight unseen by Sydney trainer Harry Telford in New Zealand on behalf of an American owner who, when the horse arrived in Australia, it was sickly, it was a yearling, it was underweight, it was covered in warts all over its face. And the American, Dave Davis, took one look at it and said, "What the hell did you buy this horse for?" And basically, Harry Telford, who had great confidence in the horse's breeding, decided to take it on at his own expense, and Davis would just keep a very tiny share. Well, of course, although the horse kept running last, eventually it started to win, and then all it did was win and became this sort of icon to the Australian nation, because during the Depression, he just uplifted the hearts of everybody. Everybody just wanted to see Phar Lap win, and became this sort of beloved sort of beast and all over Australia.
We decided on Phar Lap. It was a difficult choice because it's hard to talk about a racehorse in an arena that was built as an Outback Spectacular. But I think with the amount of film that we've been able to use from Simon's film, Phar Lap, and then blending it in with the action on the arena, it's turned out to be absolutely spectacular. We're very happy with it.
Ever since I was a little boy, I loved horses, and I learned to ride when I was 4. Actually, my first experience with a horse, I went in, we were holidaying just outside Sydney, and they just brought these wild brumbies into a yard, and of course, thinking I could round them up, I walked into the yard and I got a big boot from one of them, broke my arm, but it didn't stop my love for horses, funnily enough. Horse stories are usually quite emotional, and so they're, they're rich stories, and so what we tried to do with this show is sort of celebrate, if you like, the spirit of the horse, or the history of the horse, in Australia, and how it's been involved in our development as a nation and the role that it's played. One of the highlights of the show is a cattle drive involving 5,000 head of cattle up on a property out of Mount Isa called Barclay Downs. And Graham Acton, the owner of that property, laid on this huge muster for us, and 2 mustering choppers, 18 stockmen and women, and 5,000 head of cattle, and we spent a couple of days shooting that. It was fantastic. both from the air and with cameras on the ground as well. And that's one of the lovely parts about my job. I get to do this. It's a very big train set.
With a legendary true story of pride and determination, the show was ready to come to life. Coming up, you'll meet the cast of larger-than-life characters. And Australian music icon Lee Kernaghan lends his talents to this spectacular tribute to the spirit of a nation.
It's a huge task to cast a show such as Spirit of a Horse, simply because of the vast amount of skill that is required for all the different roles. So we have people like from actors to singers to horse riders to jockeys. I suppose the main thing that we're looking for in any of the performers is some history as far as whether they're able to perform professionally, and secondly, still keeping that boys from the bush kind of element involved in it. We want to produce the real thing here with this show. Majority of the people that are in this show all have a history with horses and the outback.
I'm Donna, the MC. So basically I ride out on the horse, do all the singing and the chatting and the how you going everybody. That's me.
My character in the show is I have to play Jono's doting wife.
I have to.
Yeah.
So I want to.
I am being...
Yep, have to.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the quintessential hard-working country woman.
My role on the show is the camp cook. And my main role is to keep out of Mrs. Johnson's way because she's not real keen on Bluey the camp cook.
It's sort of camp cook / village living.
I also play the role of Telford, Phar Lap's trainer. Last count over 13 costume changes, which keeps me rather busy.
The skills that we need for this show are very unique as far as a theatre show goes, because along with having the training of acting and singing and general theatre skills and experience in that field, you have to be experienced with animals.
Yeah, I ride a cow, skin, horse.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Chases a dog
The
around.
bird's end of a jelly nightstick on a couple of occasions.
Yeah.
The shiny part of it for me is the Australianness of the whole production. Just the great Australian yarn. This is our third production of all the wonderful Australian yarns.
Outside of town, on a small cattle place, and my whole family was involved heavily with motocross.
You do find that most of us were riding before we could walk. There's that similar thing in all of our upbringing that it was bred into us. I mean, I know I sort of for a few generations. My grandfather was a jockey. My mum was a camp drafter and still competes in different things. So I never really had a choice. I was always going to be a horse rider, whether I liked it or not.
Yeah, basically, I was here one night watching the show with my family on holidays, and a bloke I went to school with was behind the bar and told me they were looking for more riders. So I sent my application away.
Right, huh?
Yeah, pretty good. Sent my application away, and I think I was here the next Monday doing a riding test, and started the following week.
I'm actually one of the original cast, so I've sort of seen the Australian Outback Spectacular through its duration and seen all 3 shows, so the new show is really exciting for me, just being able to continue my role as Kate.
It's one of the only places in Australia you can do, for instance, Roman riding, which is this is Quilby here, and he's one of the Roman horses, and the new show will actually be splitting 5 between the 2 horses, so yeah, it's a bit of a thrill to be able to do something like that. A Roman riding is, you got 2 horses and you stand 1 foot on each horse and go as fast as you can, really.
They put a lot of work into doing it. They nearly get singed between the legs every day, so it's entertaining for us to watch too. I get goosebumps because it's so nice to be able to do something that you've just been brought up with and get paid to do it.
Yeah.
The original brief was just basically stills of the movie, and we had to reproduce what was there pretty much as close as we could. They're authentic, we have to do little cheats, like we have to give them more movement because they're doing action. A lot of the older stuff is smaller in the shoulders, tighter arms and sleeves.
No natural fibres.
And we're not allowed to use natural fibres. They have to be synthetic, but look like wools, tweeds that they had in those days. And it makes it difficult because it's got to look the same. And some fabrics we actually have to make. We make the fabric.
We have lots of pieces of paper laid out and we do sketches and we have lists on each one for each character, and then we've got to watch the movie again and we'll go over it again and then we'll watch it again and then we'll work out. It's just a slow process of breaking each section down as we go through it.
An incredible show celebrating the courageous spirit of the Australian horse would be nothing without these magnificent animals. Up next, you'll go behind the scenes with the stunning creatures that bring the legend of Phar Lap to life.